2026 Athletes in Action Super Bowl Breakfast is brought to you by Armada, the hyperscaler for the edge, and by PG&E and TBC.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Earl Smith, and I'm the team pastor for the San Francisco 49ers. And it's a pleasure for me to be here this morning and just for the opportunity to share with you. I would like to ask you if you will join with me as I share the invocation. So if you can. Let us pray. Most gracious and loving God, we thank you for your many blessings. We thank you, Father God, for who you are and who you allow us to be. We ask your covering upon this occasion. We thank you for the young man that will be honored today. And we thank you for all of the young people that are able to come and participate in this event. Father God, today we just ask that you would dwell with us and in us. We pray, Father God, for this meal and for the time of celebration that we will share this day. For all of those who came together to make this program, we just simply ask, Father God, with their ears here, well done. We thank you for everything. In his name that is above every name, the name of Christ. Amen. Please enjoy your meal.
The Galleon is a modular data center deployed in Fairbanks.
With the Galleon, we'll be able to take live stream data and process it on site in real time. When disasters strike, having that intelligence will be life-saving.
We are designing and delivering AI data centers. Our objective is to try and ensure that all of our data centers are powered by renewable energy wherever we can, so that we're working towards a better global space for everyone. Nscale is driving AI forward on a global platform.
Well, good morning. My name is Corwin Anthony, and I serve as the Executive Director for Athletes in Action. And I'm joined on stage by Dan Wright, the co-founder and CEO of our title sponsor, Armada.
Thank you, Corwin. Thank you, Corwin. And I'm incredibly impressed by the amount of organization it takes to pull off a wonderful event like this. We are so proud to be the national title sponsor of the Super Bowl breakfast this year, and to celebrate and support everything that the Bart Starr Award is all about, along with Nscale, who I'll be telling you about a little later in the event. Thanks to Corwin and everybody at Athletes in Action for giving us this opportunity. Armada is proudly SF founded, and I'm a lifelong Niners fan, so go Niners. I want to say just a few words about Armada and why we're so happy to be here. So Armada is a new vanguard of company that is helping to fill all the gaps in infrastructure globally, allowing for sovereign distributed compute to solve the most important problems at the edge, on the ground, where real problems happen. Just in the past 12 months, we've supported 15 agencies responding to the LA wildfires. We did the world's first distributed sovereign cloud in the middle of the Saudi summer with Aramco and our partners Microsoft. We've also done the first data center in Alaska, helping to support emergency response to flooding and other critical events. And then we also enabled the US Navy to do the first offshore edge computing in history. And then just recently, right before Christmas, we signed on as a collaborator for Genesis Mission, supporting the Department of Energy to do huge breakthroughs in science and engineering. And that's barely half of it. At Armada, we're growing really, really fast, and we're excited to bring this vision of sovereign AI to more and more customers. I also want to thank Ryan Neese, my friend and investor, who was the one who introduced me to AIA in the first place, and to Corwin. So thank you, Ryan.
Well, we're so excited because after this breakfast, one of you are going to be presented with a wonderful gift, and we'll tell you more about that in a little bit. It's going to be a signed football by Christian McCaffrey.
And also after the event, we are going to have a galleon tour for anybody who's interested. It's just at a short walk away down at 174 2nd Street, so come check it out, see the tech in person.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So, Dan, you also glad to be here with you?
Very glad to be here.
Excited to have Nscale as well as one of our co-title sponsors. And now, if you all just go ahead and I see you already taking your seats, so that's great. We're going to begin the program in just a few minutes, but before we get started, again, this giveaway that I just mentioned to you this morning, it's going to be a signed football by Christian McCaffrey. As I said, it's an official Super Bowl 60 football, by the way. Okay, so at the end of the program, there's going to be a QR screen that you can use. Enter that code, enter your information, and you'll be registered to win that award. Okay, you can get my part. So also, after the breakfast, we have another special event taking place. The Horizons reception is being held right next door, where 120 area youth will partake in a STEM activation, 4 different STEM activations from local organizations, encouraging them to see beyond their horizons to imagine a greater future than they can imagine. And with us here is Neftali Ramirez. Coming on upstage, Neftali. She is the founder and CEO of Sisters Keeper and the person who has given leadership to this Horizon experience. Neftali, let me tell you, you are a rock star. She has done so much over the last 8 months, bringing these organizations in, and you're going to have a wonderful time with high school and middle school kids, helping them see beyond the horizon. So thank you so much for all your efforts, Neftali. Thank you. And finally, we want to encourage you to follow us on social media throughout the whole morning. You can go to @SuperBowl_breakfast_breakfast. Okay, I just kind of ruined that total. Let me do audible. @Super_bowl_. We have to fix that. That is.
It's a lot.
Y'all figure it out. On Instagram and S-Bowl Breakfast for both X and Facebook, okay? So we'd love to see your fun posts on all 3 platforms this morning. Dan, are you going to be posting anything?
I mean, with AI, I'm going to be doing that faster than a Christian McCaffrey 40-yard dash.
And that's pretty fast. All right, with that being said, go ahead and enjoy the time. It's time to kick off the 2026 Super Bowl Breakfast.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Athletes in Action Super Bowl Breakfast and the presentation of the Bart Starr Award, presented by Armada and by PG&E and TBC. Please welcome to the stage the CEO of the San Francisco 49ers, Mr. Jed York.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to San Francisco. I was telling folks backstage, I've only heard San Francisco probably 50 times this week, the song, so it's nice to hear it again. This is a really, really cool experience. Being able to host a Super Bowl in a city that you love very much, creating $500 million of economic impact, watching this city turn from what was being reported, and a lot of it accurately, into what you see today and how beautiful it is and everything that's come to life. Thank you all for, if you live in the Bay Area, for making this a proud place, and if you're a visitor, thank you so much for being here and doing so much. On behalf of the San Francisco 49ers, welcome to the 39th Annual Athletes in Action Super Bowl Breakfast and the presentation of the 2026 Bart Starr Award. I heard a list of all the sponsors. Christian and I, if you would have asked us to be sponsors and we could have made this a lunch, we would have paid a lot of money to make this a lunch. But we're here for breakfast. And it's a great reminder of what everything about the Super Bowl is. It brings people together. It's events like this that make this week so, so special. I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit about the Bart Starr Award recipient. I don't know what I can say more than my little son will only wear the number 23 when he plays football. He loves Christian so much. And not only is Christian one of the kindest, sweetest people to my kids, and if you know Christian, Olivia, I apologize, you know how maniacal he is. You know how focused he is. And my little guy tries to emulate your husband. So imagine a 10-year-old Christian running around your house, trying to do everything that he does. But I'm proud of it. I love how much you work. I've been asked a bunch this week, hundreds and thousands of questions. I know Condi Rice is here, I believe. Dr. Rice. She's a new owner in the Denver Broncos. Congratulations on a wonderful season. There's no need to take notes on this part. But when you add people to your team, you want to make sure that they're impact players like Christian. You guys have enough. You've taken enough from us in last year's free agency. I still don't know what all we traded for you. I just know it was a lot of picks, and they should have asked for more. Christian makes your team better. He makes everybody around you better. He makes the community a better place. I'm so happy that he and Olivia have a beautiful daughter. It's just cool to see you become the person that you've always wanted to be. And when you become a father, I know how much that changes you. And I'm proud to watch you. I'm proud to watch your journey. And it's going to be really, really cool to see you continue to grow and be an amazing father. I know you'll be an amazing father. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I do want to thank Corey and Anthony and his team for allowing us all to get together. And I'm looking forward to a great day. Enjoy the beautiful weather in San Francisco. And please make sure that you celebrate this wonderful athlete, this wonderful human being, a good friend, and my little son's role model, Christian McCaffrey. Thank you.
We need you louder than ever right now! It's go time!
Please welcome the hype man of the Golden State Warriors, Franco Finn.
Good morning, San Francisco. Come on, I got to get everyone juiced up this morning. Good morning, San Francisco. Wait a minute, we need like the caffeine double espresso. Good morning. One more time. There we go. Good morning, San Francisco. That's what I'm talking about. Well, you know what? My name is Franco. I am a lifelong football fan and, of course, a 49er fan. And you might see me for 24 seasons at Chase Center with the Golden State Warriors. But tonight, or this morning, rather, I had a long night, by the way. But this morning, we are ready and pumped up for our Super Bowl breakfast. Are you guys ready for this Super Bowl breakfast? Come on. let's get it going. Look at this packed audience here at the Marriott Marquis. Well, before we introduce our MC, we got to get a little bit of energy here. So I know it's early in the morning, and that's why I'm here to bring a little bit of that energy. So if I can get a little slow clap, I'm not going to go too crazy, but can we get a little clap, clap, clap?
Good morning, San Francisco. Franco, is that how you do it? Holy cow. Tripping on my cowboy boots? That is a bad start, but this is awesome. What a great intro. I was so excited I almost forgot to come out. Franco, fellow Santa Clara Bronco, he brought the noise this morning. Let's give it up for him. Well, it is so fantastic to be back in San Francisco. So are you ready for some football? All right. How many Seahawk fans are in the house today? Yeah, that's about what I thought. How many Patriot fans are here today? All right. The most important question. How many 49er fans do we have out there today? Yeah, baby, that's what I thought. Man, we were so close. If we didn't have the injuries, we'd be getting ready to play tomorrow. I promise you. And not if we're healthy in 2026, but when we're healthy, I'm telling you. It's going to be legendary. But what a fun season it was, right? Right? Unless you're a Raiders fan. I mean, you didn't think I was going to take a few shots at the Raiders? Come on. The jokes write themselves. But seriously, think about the great stories this season. The worst to firsts. The Jags, the Bears, the Patriots all made the playoffs. Young quarterbacks showing us the future of the league. And how about 40-year-old Joe Flacco and 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers facing off in the Icy Hot Bowl? Yeah, that was one for the ages, literally. So the Colts said, we're going to one-up that. And they signed 44-year-old Phillip Rivers as their quarterback after he'd been retired for 5 years. And I was looking at Phillip and I was thinking, did he play quarterback or guard? And I thought to myself, I know I'm in better shape than Phillip, so inspired by his comeback, my man George Kittle got hurt, and I thought, And I told my wife, Dana, and in about 2 seconds, in her very special way, she said, nah, that's not a very good idea. And then I remembered this. Well, if the Seahawks win tomorrow, the 12th man is going to go even crazier than they already are. And a man that knows what it's like to play for that fan base is Seahawks legend Shaun Alexander. Shaun, it is awesome to see you this morning, brother.
Hello, brother.
Man, you are looking good. I wouldn't want to tackle you. So tell me what it's like, the 12th man, the crazy fans in Seattle just going berserk. What does that feel like when you're on the field?
It's super exciting. You know, first of all, what a great crowd this morning. So glad you all are here.
They're awake and rolling.
Yeah. So this is wonderful. The 12s are super excited. You know, this is year 50 for the Seattle Seahawks. I got there at year 25. I promise you I didn't know it was that long. You know,
man,
so
you're
25
too young.
years ago, I was a rookie, And so we played in Super Bowl 60. We played in Super Bowl 40. And so we're super proud. We hope to have greatness like the 49ers and like the New England Patriots now. But this is our 4th Super Bowl in 20 years. And so we're just super proud of our organization. 12s are going crazy.
That's great, buddy. Well, we're excited for you as well. So an unbelievable fan base to play for. You had so many amazing moments with the Seahawks. Is there one that stands out?
You know, the Super Bowl is like a world of its own. It's the NFC Championship where you win and you know you got 2 weeks where like you are just going nuts. You know, I remember carrying the trophy around and you know, after the win, and so that is like one of the most special moments where you're passing the NFC Championship trophy around from teammate to teammate, and you're sitting on the stage, and you know, we didn't win the Super Bowl, so I don't get to know what the confetti feels like for winning it. I know you do. I'm watching your ring, a little jelly, but it's okay. But it was really sweet for that moment.
That's.
I like how you twisted your ring.
Yeah, you know, I want to make you feel bad.
That's that low flex right there.
Yeah, I'm usually telling Anthony Munoz, legend for the Bengals, how we've only beat the Bengals twice in Super Bowls.
Oh gosh.
He's afraid of me right now. He doesn't want to come up here in San Francisco. But like Christian McCaffrey, you're so involved in your community, and we're honoring him today with the Bart Starr Award. Tell me what it was like when you were playing and why you felt it was so important to be involved in the community there in Seattle.
You know, I think everybody has this desire to give back. No one gets to the NFL on their own. And so there's been many people pulling for you. I mean, even I think of Christian. Christian was a freshman at Stanford, and his running back coach was Lance Taylor, who was a freshman at Alabama when I was a senior. And he called me up, bro, we got this kid. He's so amazing. And so just watching Christian just grow and become the man he is, it's been super exciting. The NFL truly is like a brotherhood. And so, you know, I always lean to the scripture, you know, good trees produce good fruit, you know. And so you get yourself around the right people to plant the right seeds in you. And things happen that are just excellent. And so super proud of you, Christian. And, you know, even if he is a 49er, you know.
I love that. You got to bring some heat. So you're still doing things, Sean, that impact lives.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to post-football career.
Yeah, so, well, the most important thing is my bride and I, we are pregnant with baby number 14. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That could be Hall of Fame worthy.
Yes.
Not could be, it is.
It is. So we will have our 11th girl. Y'all like, ooh, no twins, lots of hard work.
So obviously you haven't had time to have a job.
My 2 boys are here. My 2 boys. So we had 3 girls, and my 2 oldest sons are over here in the crowd. You know, Joseph and Justice, sophomore and 8th graders.
Okay, well, let's get those Alexander kids to stand up.
Stand up, boys. Stand up.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So love them tremendously. So family is a big thing, you know, teaching people how to go be hard for Jesus and starting with them is wonderful. And then I've got this amazing group that I've been an ambassador for, Stand Together. And we have been just trying to empower communities and players and athletes to really find the genius in everybody. We just believe in people. How can we help everybody know that they got value and their value could impact their families and communities? It's wonderful.
Well, Sean, I admired you when you played and admire you even more so now with your impact off the field. It's been awesome having you this morning. Real quick before we let you go.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you have a prediction?
Of course, as unbiased as I can be, the Seahawks will win 27-17. Write it down.
Nice. All right, brother. Thanks, Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Alexander. So, as you've heard, Sean has had his hands full, literally, and not only he was quite humble today, he's investing in the future as well through his private equity company. And this morning, we have the honor, speaking of private equity, of being joined by a few leaders from the Silicon Valley tech sector who are also investing in the future. And so we have former NFL player and superstar investor Ryan Neese this morning to chat with this tech crew. And we've got quite a group this morning. So joining Ryan, first and foremost, the founder of Cherry Rock Capital and the former CEO of TaskRabbit, Stacy Brown-Philpott. Konstantin Bueller, partner at the legendary Sequoia Capital. The former CEO of Intel, now the executive chair of Glue and the partner at Playground Global, good friend of mine, Santa Clara Bronco, Pat Gelsinger. And we also have with us this morning Sanjay Poonen, the president and CEO of Cohesity. So Ryan, take it away.
Brent, I really appreciate it. I know that you and I over the years have been blessed to work and invest with some iconic individuals and companies. And so I'm extremely excited to be here with this unbelievable panel. Obviously, there's a lot going on here in San Francisco and in the Bay Area with the Super Bowl. And one of the other things that's going on is this amazing topic, AI. It's pervasive, it's everywhere, it's being used all around the world. Sean just gave his prediction, a human prediction. I'm just curious, before we dive into AI, have any of you guys used the models to try to figure out who's gonna win the game tomorrow? Anybody? Come on, somebody's got...
Seattle.
Seattle, that was easy. You ran the model, I understand. Nevertheless, you guys all have extreme expertise as investors, as operators in this space. And I know this audience wants to understand AI better. And so, to do that, Konstantin, I'm gonna start with you. Obviously, being at one of the partners at one of the most iconic venture capital firms that's invested in companies like Apple, NVIDIA, Google, and just recently made an amazing investment in Waymo. Talk about the investments that you've made in the past, the current investments you're making in AI, and maybe future investments in how AI is being used for good.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. It is a blessing to be here with you all. At Sequoia, we start early. We start maybe 7:30 a.m., so this isn't so foreign, but I constantly try to learn, and I think we need a hype man for our partnership meetings, just to get things going. That was good. So on your question on AI for good, I'm an optimist on what AI will be able to do for the world. I'll give two concrete examples of AI investments that are helping society. The first is we just co-led an investment into Waymo. Have anyone here tried a Waymo in San Francisco? If you're visiting, try it out. It is a magical experience. You get into the car and the AI drives. Now, that's exciting from a business perspective, but it's even more exciting from a human life perspective. Sadly, about 50,000 people die a year in America in road-related accidents. I know it's touched many of us. And about 1 million people die a year across the world. Waymo actually posted their numbers across 127 million miles. They had a 90% reduction in life-threatening accidents. So just think about the impact on human life globally to have a safer driver, an AI driver that doesn't get distracted, that's always focused. I'll give one more example, which is in healthcare. I think about my wife. She's a doctor and a surgeon. She's constantly working. She's working right now. You know, it's a big weekend for the healthcare team, as everyone's here in the Bay Area. And she uses a tool called Open Evidence, which allows her to write notes much faster, do research much more quickly, and actually help get a patient diagnosis much faster. And the thing with that is she's not finishing that and going home earlier. There's a list of hundreds of patients that need help. She's just going to the next patient. AI is going to help us do more and help more people.
Pat, you have done some deep research and a big study on human flourishing. I'm curious what you've learned through those studies looking at AI and how it helps with human flourishing.
Yeah, and generally, technology is neutral, right? It can be used for good or bad. There'll be bad examples. I mean, I was horrified when I saw one of the big models saying they're now doing erotica, based on age, right, profiling, right? Hey, there's not a good teenager on this planet that can't fake that, right? So those things bother me. But then you also say, are we going to shape it for good? Right, and there was a major study done, the flourishing study by Harvard, Baylor, and Gallup, right, the 7 dimensions of human flourishing, right? Is it causing good? Right, so we at Glue have built the flourishing AI benchmarks that we're now testing and deploying. So you can go to the Glue website and you can see, is this model good or bad on the dimensions of human flourishing? Because like anything in technology, we have to benchmark it. What's the data say? So we have to be shaping these technologies for good. But fundamentally, I'm a tech optimist, right? And like Konstantin, just like one example of this, there's about 300 million kids living in extreme poverty today. 150 million of those kids, about half of them, are in languages that are not spoken, understood by any educational materials. AI will conquer language and allow us to lift those kids out of extreme poverty. So I believe there is so much good to come, but only if we, as people, say, I want AI to reflect my values. We didn't do that in social media. Let's do that with AI.
It's a great point. Definitely deserves a round of applause. Sanjay, you run a company that's using AI. I'm curious how you're using how your company's using imaging to impact, whether it be in sports or the healthcare industry or even the broader community. Just talk a little bit practical how you and your company are using AI.
Yeah, thank you, and great to be here. I'm not sure I need a hype man in my meetings because I'm a later morning guy, but nonetheless, it's great to be here. I'll start with a small story in my own family. My daughter is now at CU Boulder, but when she was studying physics in high school, I thought I'd review my physics 2 or 3 years ago, and I noticed this tool called ChatGPT. And I said, listen, do your homework, and I've got this tool called ChatGPT that you can check your answers with, but don't cheat. I went on a business trip, and she came back, and she said, Dad, you've been displaced. I don't need you anymore. And that's the world we live in. And I think to what Pat said, we have to take advantage of this for the good. Just like the good book said, do unto others as you'd want done to you. I think we have an advantage. That's how both at Cohesity, that's a software company, we're transforming the way in which we write code. 40% of our code's now being generated by AI. That would have been, things that would have been taking 20-person months are now taking 2. But I'm also on the board of Philips, which is an imaging company. When you go get your MRIs, it's typically done by Philips or some other company. If you can detect from images the likelihood of cancer, or in biotech industries, a lot of genomics is going to be AI. I think this is one of the areas where AI will be used for good. So a lot of the examples right now, people's worry about AI displacing jobs, and all of us will need to get more productive. But I think in healthcare, many of the diseases that we've been fighting, ALS, Alzheimer's, I think AI is going to help us cure, hopefully, I hope, in our lifetime. And I think that's a lot more important. Self-driving cars, I'm pretty excited about Waymo, but I want to live a longer life.
All of us do, in many ways. Stacy, you and your partners are investing in AI companies. I know that that's easier said than done, especially when you use the lens of ethics to try to understand which humans to back behind these companies that are actually running these companies. How do you apply ethics in your investment process to determine who to back?
Well, we think about our values. One of our values at Cherry Rock is we leverage our faith as much as our intellect. We don't know much. We think we do, but we don't. We don't know much. And someone took a chance on us. So when we think about investing and making an investment decision, we think about, do we take a chance on this person? Well, what are they going to bring to the world? So we invested in a company. It's an AI, multimodal AI company that helps analyze video and image data. But the founder of that company started the Responsible AI group in the Bay Area and is working with a lot of people to make sure we bring ethics into AI. We invested in a company that's helping small to medium-sized grocers better manage their business so they can thrive. We invested in a company that's helping patients get access to care because of AI. So as an investor, we have a responsibility to make a decision on where the money goes. All money is green, but we decide where it gets allocated. So it's our job to make sure that the companies that they're building are taking advantage of the technology, but doing it in a way that's creating good and something better for everyone else.
Thank you for doing that. Takes discipline, and I understand that at Next Legacy Partners, we too use the lens of ethics to identify men and women that we want to back, and we did that with Armada, and shout out to Dan and his team, an incredible team that is driven by values. I'm going to go to a little deeper question. Obviously, we just touched on artificial intelligence and how it's pervasive everywhere. But at the same time, we're starting to see, all these brilliant minds that are focused on artificial intelligence are starting to think about another form of intelligence, divine intelligence. And they're starting to become more and more curious, and they're starting to lean in to try to understand how that's showing up in their lives. Stacey, I'm going to go back to you. Talk about where divine intelligence is showing up in the workplace and in this world of technology.
I love that it's happening. I'm a Christian by faith, grew up in the church, found my way out of the church and found my way back. And I'm sure some of you can relate to that, and thank God I'm back. And when we as a firm think about whatever we're going to do, we start with prayer. And not everybody is a Christian on our team, but we all believe in something. And so as technology is taking over and trying to convince us that this is the way, who's going to win the game, did you put it in the model? In the end, we don't really know. And seeking a higher power to figure out what your gut might be telling you to do, it's not just your gut. At least that's not how I lead. And I try to live that humbly with other people and demonstrate how much I use the data, the information, ChatGPT, Claude, all of the platforms. But in the end, there's another higher power that I go to for what's the right decision to make. And often I'm not wrong, but even if I am, I learn from those mistakes and move forward.
Constantine, thank you, Stacey. There's a buzz in San Francisco and in Silicon Valley because of AI tailwinds, but there's also this wave that's building through the faith community as well, and you've been playing a part in that. Talk a little bit about what's happening there from your lens.
It is true. There is a deep resonance not only with the power of technology, but the power of faith and the power of community and teamwork. And my encouragement is, especially in this era of AI, to go into it with faith and courage. And we say the same thing to our founders, because there's so much talk about these giant companies raising all this capital and competing with them. There's so much concern about what will AI do to the industry, but I'd encourage you all to approach it with faith and with courage. Courage is from the Latin word for the heart. Really approach it from the heart and say, you know what, with all these changes that we're facing, we're going to come together as a team. We're going to actually address this new era, and we're going to make AI for good. And there couldn't be a better sport to draw inspiration from than the sport of football and the teamwork that comes from that.
Well, I know we could spend a lot of time asking a ton of questions, but we're going to run out of time. So I got one last question. Pat, bring us home here. Give a message for this audience on where they can lean in, whether in their faith and their applications of AI. I would love for you to touch on that as a leader.
Yeah, and obviously, AI needs to be bringing us into relationship with each other, right? If you go back to the creation story, God created and it was good until he created man, and it was not good because he was alone. He said it was good when he brought him into relationship, and AI has to be bringing us into relationship with each other more deeply. Here in the Bay Area, one of the sponsors, TBC, an organization I started, Transforming the Bay with Christ. Over 800 churches now are participating, one church for one bay. Here in this place that is just known for technology, we want it to be known for Jesus Christ as well.
100%. Thank you so much. There's another form of AI that I think is so important that touches on what you're saying, Pat. It's not just artificial intelligence, it's authentic interactions. We're having that here today, this morning. So thank you all. Thank you for the panelists. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the breakfast.
Thank you, guys.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Man, I tried one of those celebrations. I was kind of looking at him backstage, and I might have pulled a hamstring. This was my celebration back in the old days. Short, sweet, powerful. They are awesome. But seriously, they're choreographed. When do these guys have time to practice all that stuff? That's like 2 and 3 hours worth of focus during the week. I've watched some of these teams. They should probably spend more time on watching film. These guys have an awful lot of time on their hands. But hey, a big thank you to Ryan Neese and the tech panel participants. Like, we're bringing it all to you this morning from the AIA Bart Starr Awards. I mean, who thought that you would come to breakfast, get some AI advice, learn all the deep technology, get investment advice at the Super Bowl breakfast? Seriously. So I think that group brought the AI to AIA for sure. So I think most of that tech panel spent time at Stanford right down the road, although Pat Gelsinger, like I mentioned, is a fellow Bronco. We were there at the same time. I tried to copy off some of his papers, and he said, "Get away, athlete." But it's nice to connect after all these years. I don't need him anymore. I can have AI write my papers. Well, it might not surprise you that our next guests are both legends from Stanford. They are two former NFL greats who now lead their respective teams as general managers. And you know them both very well. Well, fellas, first thing I got to ask you is, we're inundated with Stanford people this morning. Can we not find a Cal person somewhere? I mean, I know they're few and far between, but oh man. So what is it about Stanford in the education and in the post-education careers?
I got to shout out some of the guys on our team I see here in the front row as well. So it's good to see you fellas. Appreciate you showing up. I wanted to be like John Lynch when I grew up. I wanted to be like John Elway. And as a kid from Texas, it didn't feel bad to come out to California and get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. You know, Andrew, it's so smart for these guys to be here because now they're getting paid. So you show up, the GM sees you. I wonder if that's a little boost. I mean, that has changed college football. I'm still trying to get my head around the portal, being a general manager, spending money. Do you call John and ask him tips?
Yes, he knows it too. I'll say, you know, the only job I'd ever held in my life was NFL quarterback, right? So I get this job as general manager. I have an office for the first time in my life, and I was like, what do I do? You know, so I call John. What do I call you? About once a month?
It's all good. Keep it coming, man.
Yeah, about once a month. It's fun to pick the brain of the best.
I will say this: Stanford football. You know, we're very proud of our football at Stanford. I know it's known for a lot of other things, and it should be, but we're proud of our football. And somebody this week asked me, it was 2 nights ago, they said, you know, it's great having Andrew back. He gives us hope. And I think it's appropriate at this breakfast, my answer, he said, he doesn't give me hope, he gives me faith. He gives me faith that we're gonna get on the right track. So fortunate to have this guy back in charge.
We love it.
Yeah.
So John, so close this year. What's your takeaway from this last season, and what are you guys going to focus on in 26?
Well, you know, you guys, Brent, and I mean all your Super Bowl teams, you guys created an unbelievable standard, and one that's very important, near and dear to my heart. Believe me, for all the reasons, anything I do, my parents taught me, you do it to the best of your ability. It's kind of my nature. I love competing. I did as a player. I did when I broadcasted, and ultimately competition brought me back to this role. I missed a scoreboard. I missed competing for something. And I can tell you, there's not a day that goes by I don't think of the Brent Jones, the Ronnie Lotts, the Joe Montanas. There was a night this week, a night of champions, where Chris Berman moderated a deal on the '89 team. And man, we want to make you guys proud. But what I will say about this team, we fell short of doing that. We're not in this game, and that stings. It would have been a great opportunity to do it at home. But I will say, this will be year 10 coming up. This was my favorite team in this role that I've been associated with. And it's because of guys like Christian. It's because of the fight that this team embodied. And ultimately, you know, all the reasons that you didn't get someplace that you want to get are just excuses at the end of the day. But this year we faced a lot of adversity, and our guys never stopped fighting. I thought our coach, Kyle Shanahan, was masterful in not only his schematics, he's brilliant with those, but the way he led our team, the way our players led. So I was just really proud of this team. And next year, what I plan on doing is taking another swing, and hopefully we're there. Where is the Super Bowl next year? LA.
It's our home field.
Our home
down
field.
there.
So much our home field, they made us go to Australia.
Yeah, well, John, it was ironically for me the most rewarding year to see what those guys did in the locker room, the moves that you made, the players that you brought in, and I mean, I know it was a scramble drill, but it as a fan, it felt great.
Appreciate that.
Andrew, so many highs in your playing career, but eventually it takes a toll on your body, and I know that you stepped away from the game, and I know how much you love football. Talk to us about going through that and how you wrestled with loving the game but realizing there's life after football.
Oh yeah, certainly the game is a trying game. We know it. Anybody's played. I've heard Christian talk about it. It's an unforgiving game in many ways. It pushes the limit, and it is it's not a contact sport. It's a collision sport. It is, and there's a toll that it takes, and it for all of us, there is an end to the playing portion of it. Coming to terms with that for me was difficult. I'll say this: I felt supported. I felt like I had people in my corner, my wife specifically. Like that matters. And then through that process, came to the terms of like, man, I still love football. The competitive part of it, the love of football. It's part of why I'm back at Stanford as football general manager. I think also coming to terms with. The game gave me a lot. It gave me a scholarship to a university. It gave me a chance to live my dream and play in the NFL. And I do think all of us who have played have an obligation to give back into the game and make it a better place, make it a better environment. For me, it's making sure we have the best culture in college football in our locker room, making sure our young men feel like they're seen, feel like they're believed in, feel like they're invested in, feel like all the dimensions of who they are, academically, spiritually, in the community, socially, are tended to. So being back in that cycle has been a lot of fun.
Well, Andrew, it feels great to have you back in the role and a lot of hope. And I know things are going to be better here in the very near future. It's awesome to have you in charge.
Working towards it.
John, you have contracts coming up, a budget, salary cap, roster needs, lots of money involved. And I know Andrew's listening. Talk about the challenges of being an NFL GM in today's age.
Well, you just look at our division. It's really competitive. And, that's the same reason why I dove back in. I love competing. Our division, we have the Seahawks, excellent football team. They earned their way to the Super Bowl. They're a really well put together football team. I got a lot of respect for them. Don't like them, but got a lot of respect for them.
Amen.
The Rams, the same could be said. Arizona, kind of a sleeping giant. I think they've actually been improving their team. It hasn't shown in the record. So I think the competition of our league, I will tell you this, I'm entering year 10. The calendar in the NFL, it just never stops. People say, hey, do you get a break now? No, like free agency starts in 4 weeks. Then the draft happens. So it's never ending, it's never stopping, but that's also all the draw to it. And I love being associated with this organization because of the standard people like you have set, the 49er way, best way I've ever heard it put by Steve Young, I think, came and spoke to our team, and we asked him what the 49er way is, and he talked about Ronnie when Steve wasn't really popular because he was brought in to give competition to Joe that everybody rightly so loved. Some guys at practice were giving Steve a hard time, and Ronnie came and put them in their place, and he said, Steve, I've got your back. And that's what being a 49er is all about, and I'm just really proud to be a part of this organization.
Thanks, buddy. It's great to have you. Andrew, it's weird, but I'm asking you pretty much the same question. College football landscape has changed drastically over the last 5 years. It's morphed, and we've got teams now that are hiring GMs. And like the NFL, there's money to be distributed, a lot of pressure. The portal thing drives me crazy. How do you deal with all those things?
One, we talked about how treating our young men well, that matters. look, we managed to have an incredibly stable roster this year, which I'm proud of. I know our young men are here to win and have a winning process and winning championships, so that matters. Recruiting's certainly a part of Stanford. We got to go find the next Christian McCaffreys. And I told John this backstage. I'm just waiting for Christian to be a punt returner in the NFL. We used to watch him return punts at Stanford. Those were special. Those are really special.
He does everything else.
Yeah, everything. Everything. No, it's a fun challenge. And it's still a simple game at the end of the day, right? And I think if young men are in a locker room that know they're being pushed and know we have a chance to win, we'll get somewhere.
Well, it's inspiring and it's changing. And I think the thing that I hear you saying is you guys are going to be ready to compete and to go with the rules that now exist. Whether traditional fans like it or not, that's what it is. You caught a little attention last year when you showed up at one of the games dressed as a Civil War soldier. Is that coming back this year? I mean, the scary thing is it looks like that's a good look for you.
I don't know if that's a compliment or a diss.
It was a compliment. I mean, I bought off on it.
This is, it's interesting thinking about tech and social media in the Bay, and certainly social media and the harms. There's a social media account that it is not me. I am not that funny. I do not have that type of wit. There's a social media account about me as a Civil War, to be clear, on the Union, an officer. And I say that because I was walking around at a Halloween a couple years ago on that, and someone confused me for the other side. I was like, we gotta stop. No.
Yeah, no.
Not at all. No, I think that outfit's retired.
Okay, fair enough. Well, aside from the outfit, what is the most important thing for you in terms of leadership at Stanford?
Connecting. And look, I think part of the beauty of football, Pop Warner, middle school, high school, college, the NFL, is it's a human development vehicle, right? It is. It is about young men growing. It's about young men self-actualizing. We need to make sure we have coaches and staff and leaders that are exemplars. We need to make sure our older players are assuming the mantle of leadership and that we're helping them, that our younger players are finding the right path. None of us are perfect. Football's an amazing game, and that you will fail. I mean, right? You fail constantly. I think that's part of why it's such an incredible game to be part of, and connecting and making sure all of our guys are bringing their full selves to work every day.
John, what about you? What's the most important thing for your leadership at the 49ers?
Well, when I was in Tampa, we lived on the same street of this four-star general, Tommy Franks. And Tommy, General Franks, was a tremendous man, and we spent a lot of time together. And we got to talking about leadership one night, and he gave me the best definition, and I really think it rings true. He said, it's real simple, son. Do you make people around you better? And I think, to me, as we're here at this luncheon, in 2007, I was humbled beyond belief to accept this award and to get a call from Bart and Sherry Starr and then spend time with them. And we'll talk about it in a little bit, Christian, but these people were so special. And it wasn't just on the field that Bart Starr was special. It was in everything he did and the way he conducted himself. And so hopefully you can inspire people by not just when you're on the field, but living your life and having character. And that trophy that sits behind my desk and is probably the trophy that makes me most proud, along there with World Championships and Hall of Fame and all that trophy. It's a great reminder, conduct yourself in a way that would make my wife proud, my parents proud, Bart and Sherry proud, and that's why I'm really excited to be here this morning.
Man, I could sit here all day and listen to you guys. This has been a great honor to have you two champions up here with us this morning, and want to wish you guys both the best of luck in the upcoming season. Andrew Luck, John Lynch, two legends. Appreciate it, fellas. Hey, and spend a lot of money.
You and your teammates obviously pour into those around you. What does that mean for you as an NFL player?
Yeah, I mean, it's super rewarding to be able to spend time with those in the community, whether that's hospital visits or school visits or food drives, things like that. I think we've got such a platform and we've been so blessed. So to be able to turn that around and light up somebody else's, light up somebody else's day is a great opportunity.
To let it go, but if you never try, you'll never know just what you were. Tears stream down your face when you lose something.
Well, as you can see, there are great things being done in the community by many players, and of course, in keeping with the legacy of the great Bart Starr. And in keeping with our theme of fascinating people from Stanford, I'm excited about our next guest. Condoleezza Rice has an incredible background. She's a diplomat, a renowned political scientist. She served as U.S. National Security Director and Secretary of State, pioneering the policy of transformational diplomacy. She's spoken all over the globe and served on many boards. And she is now part owner of the Denver Broncos. Here to interview her is former four-time NCAA national champion gymnast, former ESPN broadcaster, author, and speaker, Kim Hamilton Anthony, a pioneer and legend in her own right. Take it away, Kim.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be here. And Condoleezza, welcome to the Super Bowl breakfast.
Good to be with you. Good morning.
All right. Now listen, the Denver Broncos, we're so close to being in the Super Bowl this year.
Yes. I'm going to be over it on Tuesday when the Super Bowl is over and we can get focused on next year.
Next year. You're going to get started
But
early.
it was a great year, and it's been so exciting. I kind of grew up in Denver. We moved to Denver when I was 12. And it's great to be part of bringing that tradition back to Denver. It's a great fan base. It's an amazing city. And that's what it really means to be part of the NFL, is to be a part of these amazing places. And so I'm really happy to do that.
I love that. How has it been for you to experience the team this season as an owner?
Well, after the first year, which wasn't so great, it has been a kind of steady process of getting better. And that's a little bit like life, you know, you just kind of keep building and building. I think Sean Payton and George Patton are doing a great job. We all love Bo Nix, who, by the way, has great Alabama roots, which is where I was born. But I just have to say a word. Being an owner is great when you have people like Greg and Carrie Pinner, because they do all the hard work, and then you show up for the games.
I have to ask you, do you get into the ear of the GM or head coach?
No, I think it's better that football people do football and people like me enjoy it. But, you know, I'll make my views known once in a while.
Hey, I just wanted to find that out. Now, you've been a football fan for a long time. I know the story, but will you share with our audience how that happened and when did you become a football fan?
Well, when I was born, my father was a Presbyterian minister, a high school guidance counselor, and a football coach. And as my grandmother, his mother, told the story, I was actually born while my father was in the pulpit. And he came out and she said to him, "Johnny, you have a little girl." And he said, "A little girl?" Because I was going to be his All-American linebacker. Well, he decided, oh, what the heck. So he taught me about football instead. And I can remember very well, we lived about 5 minutes from the church. And I did notice that during football season, his sermons were a little bit shorter so that we could get home in time for football. And he wanted me to understand the X's and O's. So I can remember at 8 or 9 years old, "Condoleezza, what is that?" "Daddy, that's a trap block." "Now what are they doing?" "Daddy, they're setting up a screen." And so in many ways, I associate football as time with my father. My mother was a great musician. I'm a musician too, but she never picked up a ball or bat of any kind. But my dad, that was what we did together. And so every memory of football in those years has something about my father in it.
Now, I read in your book that when you were 3 years old, actually football helped you to learn how to tell time.
Correct, because I was staying with my grandmother during the day, and my father, who was coaching high school football, would tell my grandmother, "I'm going to pick Condoleezza up at 3 o'clock, let's say, to go to the football game." And from noon on, I would say, "Is it 3 o'clock? Is it 3 o'clock? Is it 3 o'clock?" And finally, she went to the clock and she said, "Here's how you tell that it's 3 o'clock. The hand goes like that, the hand goes like that." And so I always say it was because of football that I learned to tell time.
I love that story. Now, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about your role as a public servant. When did you know that you wanted to be a part of the public policy and political arena?
I tell my students this all the time. You never know where life is going to lead you, because until the end of my sophomore year in college, I wanted to play Carnegie Hall as a pianist. I had no interest whatsoever in anything but being a great musician. And I went to the Aspen Music Festival School that summer. It's a place that a lot of prodigies go. And all of a sudden, I met 12-year-olds who could play everything that I had taken all year to learn. They could play from sight, and I thought, you know, I'm good at this, but I'm going to end up teaching 13-year-olds to murder Beethoven for a living. Let me find another way. And it was actually kind of unsettling because I'd spent my life, could play piano from the age of 3. And I remember the conversation with my parents. Now, all of you who are out there who are parents, listen to this because it may happen to you. I came home, I said, "Mom and Dad, I'm changing my major." My father said, "To what are you changing your major?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "You don't know what you want to do with your life?" I said, "It's my life." He said, "It's our money, find a major." And he said, "No more than 4 years in college." Well, I was now at the end of my 3rd year in college when I fortunately wandered into a course in international politics. It was taught by a man named Joseph Corbell. He was Madeleine Albright's father. And Joseph Corbell taught me what I wanted to be, somebody who did things international, somebody who did things diplomatic. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I knew that that's what I wanted to be. And I felt at that point I'd found my passion, I'd found my purpose in life. There was a lot of prayer involved in that too, because I really do believe that God leads you to what you are ultimately supposed to do. But I do just have to tell this story because it's a little bit about piano and how it brought me back into the church. So I moved to California. I'm a new faculty member at Stanford. I'm always on some other time zone. So in spite of the fact that I'm a minister's daughter, I've kind of fallen away from going to church. So one Sunday morning, I was in the Lucky supermarket when I should have been in church. And those of you who maybe know Palo Alto know there aren't that many black people in Palo Alto. And this black man walked up to me in the spice aisle of the Lucky supermarket. And he said he was buying some things for his church picnic. And he says, "Do you play the piano?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "We lost our pianist. Would you come play for us at Jerusalem Baptist, little church down the road?" And I thought, the long arm of the Lord reaching into the Lucky supermarket to bring me back to church. So So I played for them for a little while, but I'm Presbyterian, all right? We're, frozen chosen, don't speak unless spoken to. And so I'm playing, and he's a Baptist minister, and he starts a song, and I'm supposed to pick it up. Well, my mother had played for Baptist churches. She was Methodist, but the Baptists paid better, so she played for Baptist churches. And so she says, I call her, I said, Mother, he starts in no known key. What am I supposed to do? She said, honey, play and see. He'll come right back to you. And in fact, it turns out to be true.
I love that. Honey, play and see. Now, how did serving in the role for our country as Secretary of State affect you or perhaps even change you?
Well, those are heavy responsibilities. They are also magnificent opportunities. Every time I stepped off a plane that said the United States of America, I felt the power and the strength of the United States and what we stood for around the world. I knew that the president was making life and death decisions, and I tried to be there for him to make those. It was helpful to be a part of an administration that we were pretty much all prayerful people. I remember after 9/11, the day after 9/11, the president asked me to lead the prayer for the cabinet that morning. And he had not told me ahead of time. And the words that came to me were, we have seen the face of evil, but we are not afraid, for your hand is on us, Lord. And that Friday night, we went to Camp David and to plan for the war in Afghanistan. And John Ashcroft, who was the Attorney General, as I told you, I don't play gospel, he did. And we sang through the night. And it was that power of prayer that I think sustained us through these very difficult times. But it also made me realize that when you're Secretary of State of the most powerful country, probably in human history, you go into a room, you've got the American military on one shoulder, you've got the American economy on the other, but if you can also offer a hand of compassion, the President's emergency plan for AIDS relief, the fact that the United States has been the largest food aid donor, even to enemies, because no president has used food as a weapon, the Peace Corps, that is what makes America special. And while we come from many different religious traditions, I really do believe that that Christian belief that every human being is a child of God is important in the way that you approach the world.
Well, Condoleezza, we are running out of time. It has been an absolute privilege to interview you today and to hear about your faith, to hear about the wonderful accomplishments that you've had. And I just wonder if there is something that you've learned along the way about life, about people, about what matters most.
Well, there is no doubt that what matters most is to be able to access your faith in both sorrow and in joy. And I sometimes think it's easier, oddly, to access it in sorrow because you, as Abraham Lincoln said, you have no place to go but your knees. But I've tried over the years now to make sure that I'm also accessing my faith in joy. And in communities of faith, both are important. And so a gathering like this, where it is a community of faith, I think it's just extraordinarily important to us individually, collectively, as a country, and as a world.
Thank you, Condoleezza.
Thank you.
A woman of much accomplishment, and more so a woman of character and integrity. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
My greatest football memory is being coached by Coach Lombardi. He was a fabulous gentleman. He was a true leader. He personified it in everything that he did. We knew from the day he walked in and held his first meeting with us, it was going to change. He said, "Gentlemen, we are going to relentlessly chase perfection, knowing full well we won't catch it because nothing is perfect. Because in the process, we will catch excellence." I get choked up every year at this, but I'm not going to apologize for that because it is an honor to be able to pay tribute to those in the National Football League who represent something that our great coach, Coach Lombardi, said years ago. What a wonderful gathering. turbulent 60s. He said, ladies and gentlemen, it's becoming increasingly difficult to be tolerant of a society which has sympathy only for the misfits, the maladjusted, the criminal, the loser. Have sympathy for them? Yes. Assist them? Absolutely. But don't you think it's time we stood and cheered the doer, the leader, the winner? Someone who looks for something extra to do for their God, their family, their country, their community? Word football is not in there. He's talking about life. Some people come into our lives and quickly go like waves, briefly touching the shore. Some people stay for a while and give us a deeper understanding of what is truly important in this life. They touch our souls. They leave footprints on our hearts, and we will never, ever be the same.
There were 16 seconds left, and you're at the 1-yard line, and you call timeout, and you go over to the sidelines to talk to Coach Lombardi. Share with us what went on in that conversation.
I said to the coach, I said, there's nothing wrong with the play. I said, the backs can't get to the line of scrimmage because they're down trying to start quickly, and the ground is as hard as this. And I said, so they're slipping and sliding. I said, I'm standing upright. I can shuffle my feet and lunge in. And all he said, well, then run it. Let's get the hell out of here. Excellence marks a search for an ideal, long after mere usefulness has been achieved. It's never an accident, but rather exposes an enviable work ethic, noble ambitions, and a unique commitment to God, family, and others.
Well, good morning. It's an honor to be here today to present the Bart Starr Award to a very deserving recipient. I had the great privilege of getting to know Bart Starr, and let me tell you, he was everything you saw in that video and more. He was a leader, a winner, a man of character, a man who loved his family and had a big heart for his fellow man. The award honors the NFL player who best embodies the character and leadership on the field, in the home, in the community, as selected by a vote of his peers. It was such an honor for me to receive this award 38 years ago. Today, Christian McCaffrey will become part of a select group that includes now 13 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame after Drew Brees' selection this week, with at least 8 others that should join him in the future. A few past Bart Starr Award recipients have joined me to help welcome the newest member of their brotherhood. Our MC, of course, Brent Jones, Warwick Dunn, John Lynch, who we heard from earlier, Anthony Munoz, maybe Demario Davis, Darrell Green, and Thomas Davis. I know some of Christian's teammates are here as well. I'd like to ask you all to come up and join me here on the stage. I'd also like to ask the 49ers chaplain, Earl Smith, to come up as well. Before we introduce this year's recipient, here's a look at his impact.
One of the most dynamic and versatile players in the NFL, Christian McCaffrey is a unique mix of speed, strength, agility, grit, and football intelligence. His ability to run and catch makes him a rare threat and a big problem for opposing defenses. During the 2025 season, McCaffrey rushed for over 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns, and added 102 receptions and 7 scores. He is the only running back in NFL history to record 100 or more receptions in multiple seasons, doing it 3 times. And he is one of just 3 players in history to gain 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in the same season. An All-Pro 4 times and a 4-time Pro Bowl selection, McCaffrey was the NFL Offensive Player of the Year in 2023. He holds the NFL record for the most receptions by a running back in a season, most games of 10 or more receptions by a running back, and he is 3rd all-time in most career receptions by a running back. McCaffrey has also made an impact off the field in the Bay Area community. His Christian McCaffrey Foundation serves the area through initiatives like 23 and Troops, 22 and You, and the Logan Project, serving U.S. veterans and active duty military, frontline healthcare workers, and underserved youth, providing mental health support and assisting with medical treatment and other critical challenges. Christian McCaffrey, a hero to many on and off the field, is the recipient of the 2026 Bart Starr Award.
As you may know, Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy presents this award each year. Well, Tony couldn't be here this year because he was sent to Alcatraz. Seriously, Tony is part of the NBC team broadcasting the game this year, and they sent him to Alcatraz to record a segment, and I can assure you he's not in trouble. He did send a recorded message, however. Let's take a look.
Christian, this is Tony Dungy, and I'm so disappointed that I'm not there with you today. I have been the presenter of the Bart Starr Award the last few years, and it's been one of the highlights of my year. Unfortunately, today I have to be with my NBC duties and rehearsing, so I'm not there personally, but I'm with you in spirit. You are a well-deserving award winner. You personify what the Bart Starr Award is all about: integrity, leadership, character. You've demonstrated that throughout your career, and especially this year. So I want to say congratulations, and just let you know how honored we are to present you with this award.
We have a couple of other past winners who also wanted to congratulate Christian but couldn't be here in person. These men certainly need no introduction.
Good morning to all of you there at the Super Bowl breakfast. I hope you're having a great morning so far.
We wish we could be with you all, but we are so honored to be a part of the presentation of the Bart Starr Award again this year, and thankful that technology allows us to do so.
And Peyton, this year we get to honor one of our favorite players and favorite people.
That's right, Eli. Christian McCaffrey of the hometown 49ers, one of the best all-around players in the game today. He runs, he catches, he blocks, he's tough, highly competitive. What an impressive player.
He certainly impressed us when he joined the Manning cast in 2023, when he was able to carry on a conversation while eating a big tub of cheese balls.
Yes.
What's up?
Yes. All right. Yep. Hey, you do all the talking for a little bit. Christian and I are just going to eat some cheese balls.
Very impressive. Eli, it's been great to see Christian healthy this season. 1,200 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns, and 102 receptions for almost 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. It's the 3rd time in his career he's had over 2,000 all-purpose yards. What a dynamic playmaker.
And this season, he became the first running back in NFL history to have 3 seasons with 100 or more catches. But the Bart Starr Award is for so much more than his stats on the field. is voted on by his peers for his character and leadership both on and off the field, and what he does off the field is just as impressive as what we see him do on it.
No doubt about it, E. This year, he took time out to honor a World War II veteran, as you can see there on the screen.
Two things we can learn from that clip. Number one, Christian is genuinely a great guy. And number two, I definitely need to increase my tricep workouts.
Yeah, I'd say you and me both, E. Doesn't look like he'll have any trouble lifting the award this morning.
No, he will not. And that's what he's going to do here in a few minutes. Christian, we salute you for what you do for your veterans, first responders, hospital workers, and youth and children, and for your outstanding season.
Yes, for all you do and for the model of character you are in your home, on the field, and in your community. You are the recipient of the 2026 Bart Starr Award. Way to go, Christian. We're proud of you.
Congrats. Well deserved.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the 2026 Bart Starr Award, Christian McCaffrey.
Man, what a whirlwind of a week this has been for me. I feel just immense gratitude, you know, as I'm standing up here receiving this award that means so much to me. I think that's the word that keeps coming to my mind when thinking about it, you know, this year, this week, this award is just gratitude. You know, I think Andrew mentioned, you know, people who, the leaders, the veterans in his room, passing stuff down to the young guys. And it's in these moments where I feel so grateful that when I came in as a rookie, I had so many guys to look up to. And now going into my 10th year, I still do. Football is a people business. It's a relationship business, and I think that's what makes the game so special. And I feel like the luckiest guy on the planet, going back to my Little League years, that I've had the greatest people, the greatest support system, and that has been what's driven me to become who I am today. And I just feel, I feel so lucky in that. There's too many people to thank, to be honest with you. Awards are great, you know, this week was great, but this one means a lot to me because it's a true representation of the people that have had an impact on me and the leaders in my life and my support system in my life, my parents, my brothers, my beautiful wife who's here, who I love so much, who is with me every step of the way for the last 6 years, and you know, to my daughter, our new daughter, 6 months old, who has been the light of my life, and watching my wife become a mom and has been such a blessing to me. I think about just this week in general being Super Bowl week, and I think about 3 years ago when we were playing in the Super Bowl, and it's a really tough topic because you know, anyone who's lost a Super Bowl, it calluses you. It's something that you don't ever get over, frankly. It'll last, you know, for the rest of your life. Even if you end up winning one, you'll always think about that one. And so sometimes this week is weird as a player because it's all you want to be doing is playing in the Super Bowl. And I think about my journey since then. And I think about post-Super Bowl and kind of the emotional roller coaster that I think myself and a lot of my teammates went through, and I'll get to my teammates and the 49ers in a little bit here. But I think about how tough that was and how I found myself constantly wanting after that. You know, it made me so hungry. I want a Super Bowl. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And I went into the next season and, you know, faced a lot of challenges. I didn't make it to week 1. I had double Achilles tendonitis. That was pretty brutal. Gave me a lot of doubt. There was a lot of uncertainty when I was going through that. And as soon as I started feeling good again, I was about 3 games in, Started going and bam, tore my PCL. And I was out for the year. And that was my year. And when you go through that, when you feel like you're on the highest of the high, I was the offensive player of the year, we're playing in a Super Bowl, but then you lose, and then you go from that to being at the bottom of the bottom. I'm constantly reminded of that during weeks like this where you're winning awards and being, blessed with these amazing opportunities. Because it was in those moments where God was the most evident. And I found myself relying on many verses, one being Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And that to me is something that I stuck with for that entire year, to stop wanting, to truly surrender. And that was something for me that in prayer and in my support staff and all the people who helped me, I didn't make it about winning Super Bowls anymore. I didn't make it about anything else other than surrendering to what the Lord had in store for me. And that was being a good teammate. That was working my butt off every single day, not worrying about the outcome. And I think that doesn't just stem from me or anything like that. That stems from the people that I was around. I got traded to the 49ers 4 years ago, and it gave me a complete rejuvenation of life. You heard Jed speak earlier. There's not a lot of owners. I probably is. I don't know. I guess that's not the right wording, but I feel really lucky that we have an owner who's relational, who's willing to talk to his players, hangs out, eats lunch with his players, feels like one of the guys. I don't know if that's rare, but I would assume it is rare. And so, Jed, for your words, I just want to say thank you so much wherever you are. But you guys took a chance on me 4 years ago, and it's funny that I'm winning this leadership award because I feel like when I got traded to the Niners, you, John, Kyle, you guys created such an unbelievable structure and an unbelievable standard. I didn't have to lead at all. And that was one of the coolest teams to be a part of. And I feel like that hasn't changed at all. You get to go to the 49ers and be yourself. If you're not a talker, you don't have to talk. They let you work. They let you be you, whatever that means. And I'm so grateful for that because I truly believe the best leaders have been led by the best men. And I feel like we have the best leaders on the planet in the 49ers, and that's in Kyle, that's in Jed, that's in John. And that's in all the guys who welcomed me in when I got traded, who I see welcome our rookies in. The standard of excellence is so high on this team, and to echo what John had said earlier about this team, I'm so grateful and proud to be a part of this team specifically because of that. I think you saw that, and despite some of the adversity, we went through a lot of those results. And so I want to thank my teammates for that. I think it's something that as I get later in my career, or in the middle of my career, I don't take it for granted at all. Again, going back to relationships. I get emotional thinking about my teammates because football does end one day. And I just know that those are the things that I'll miss. The locker room, the meals, all the stuff in between the white lines. Going to battle with your brother. Football is the game of life. It's never an individual sport. You have so many people working together to accomplish one goal, and that's life. You have people from all different races, religions, credos, whatever it may be. You come together and you are one. And that's what makes the game so beautiful. That's why we all love it so much. And so to the 49ers, I want to say thank you. All of the people I mentioned, my teammates, my coaches, everybody wants to be a part of or be around people that make them want to be their best self. And that's what I have in the 49ers. And that's why receiving this award is such a blessing and an honor, because I feel like I'm around the best leaders and people who have inspired me. And I'm extremely grateful for that. This year was challenging in a lot of different ways. I go back to January 1st until the start of training camp. And it was a fight, again, going after that season. But the things that were consistent for me, that I truly believe I wouldn't be standing up here without it, was God, my faith in Jesus, and the people around me. And the verse this year that I continued to say to myself was Exodus 14:14, which was, "The Lord will fight for you, you must only be still." And I think in this ever-changing world where we're all over the place and there's these new inputs coming in all the time, it can be stressful. Again, when you're going through injuries in the NFL, there is uncertainty. There's a lot of long days and a lot of sleepless nights. And when you know that all you have to do is be still, all you have to do is continue fighting, all you have to do is show up and do the best job you can. Let God fight for you. The end result will be what it'll be, and it's not always in your timing. And trusting in the Lord and relying on my support system, my wife, my daughter, my parents, my brothers, that's why I'm here today. And my teammates, that's why I'm here today. This is an honor because of the recognition that I'm getting from so many legends like these guys standing up here, so many people who have transcended the game of football, and none other than Bart Starr. Somebody who I wish I could have met, somebody who will live forever and will live forever in this game, and it's an honor to be able to honor him. I'm really grateful that for my career up to this point, all the trials, all the tribulations, and receiving this award is a massive honor, and I'm unbelievably grateful for all the people who played a massive role in it. To Athletes in Action, thanks for giving our faith a platform. Thanks for making this award not just about football, but about people like myself and the communities that I've been so blessed to be a part of. And I just want to say thank you guys for being here and standing for something bigger than yourself, just like we as football players do. So to everybody, thank you. Enjoy the breakfast, and God bless.
When you walked into the stadium, the fans were ready. The energy, this was it. We had to go out there and win it. This was do or die for us.
It's all us. Leave it all out here, dog. We can pick up the rest on Monday.
We just knew in our hearts that this was our time.
I was lucky to have him as a teammate, and even luckier to not have him as an opponent. An undeniable force on the defensive line, and San Francisco's all-time sack leader, my brother family, Bryant Young.
I was so emotional. In 1998, to be exact, I had a very severe injury, and here I am flat on my back, and I was in so much pain.
My career could have been over at year 5, and I would not have been on stage. And so for me, it was like, God, you're so good. Even in the most hard times and the toughest times in our life, you are still good.
It's powerful to see the impact a life has on others, isn't it? Like Christian McCaffrey, Bryant Young has long been an example of character and integrity while excelling on the field. And as you just saw, he's an overcomer, as is his wife, Kristen, who is a speaker, writer, photographer, and minister. And they're here with us this morning to share their story. What a treat it is to have you both with us this morning.
Yes.
Kristen, the reality is you've accomplished so much more than Bryant.
Absolutely.
I should have a gold jacket.
We could have you up here for 30, 40 minutes and just let him just hang out in the background like arm candy.
Yeah. I definitely kicked my coverage.
Yeah.
And I can recruit well.
We both know that. BY, we played 4 years together. You came in as a rookie, and your maturity just blew me away. You fit in our team Super Bowl season right out of the gate. You were one of those guys. The year I retired, you had a significant injury. I wasn't there, but I watched it. The compound fracture of the tibia, fibula, which is typically a career ender for almost every guy. But you came back. Tell us about that.
Yeah, first of all, I'm grateful to be here, and congratulations to Christian McCaffrey for the fine example that he's been. You know, Brent, I came in, and it was important for me to earn the respect of my teammates, and I wanted to make sure that I did that in the best way possible, be quiet, listen to the older guys, and just relish in my role, earn the respect of my team. But, you know, we're off to a really good start. Won a Super Bowl in my first year, and, you know, things are going well. And then right in my 5th year, I suffered this significant leg injury that just shocked me. And so it was one of the most devastating things I had to endure at that time. And I knew it was going to take a lot. It was a career-threatening injury. I felt like it was, you know, do or die. I was flat on my back, and God really had my attention. But through the help of a lot of people, my wife, more importantly, and my family and the organization, coaches and teammates around me, and just, you know, fighting and pushing through the hardness of rehabilitation and getting back to 100%, it took a lot. And so I'm very grateful for a supporting cast and God giving me the strength that I needed to push through.
EY, just a remarkable comeback. And not only did you come back, you continue to have a Hall of Fame career. What was that like when you got the call from the Hall of Fame?
Well, you know, it was awesome. It came full circle, and just in terms of, you wonder if your body of work and all the people that have been a part of it, mentors, spiritual leaders, pastors, family, my beautiful wife, who's been an awesome support and sacrificed a lot. It allowed me to do what I did, and the focus, and then rehabilitating back from that severe injury. All of that flashed, you know, in that moment when Charles knocked on my door, and it just really affirmed that it was all worth it. And it was one of the most gratifying, surreal moments in my life.
So I'd be smiling inside knowing that. But Kristen, you had to deal with this injury with Bryant, and behind the scenes, nobody sees the things that are going on behind the scenes. How tough was that for you to deal with when he was injured and coming back and having to watch him every week?
Yeah, you know, behind the scenes, we say that the NFL actually stands for not for long. So, so these guys know, and families know that every down, every play, that could be their last play or their last down. And so you walk into that knowing it. You don't think it's going to happen to you. You pray it does not happen to you. But as a wife, you know, I got to see the things that the jacket actually stands for. The team coming around him, the work that happens to get back on the field. That's why he actually has a gold jacket, is because we get to see the dedication. Actually, we had to eat chicken for 14 years. Even the diet.
Strict diet during the season.
Yes, even the diet, being meticulous about what they put in their mouth so that they can be the best on the field. It's just great to see that we are given gifts, and very few of us have the discipline to actually develop them.
You know, Kristen, it's funny because when I see a big, strong man like BY, I know that there's an even stronger woman behind a man like that, and I know you are that woman.
I try and tell him that a lot.
Yeah, keep it up. So, Brian, at your Hall of Fame induction speech, you took a moment to focus on your son, Colby. Let's watch a little clip from that speech.
I've introduced 5 of our children. Now I'd like to let you meet Kobe. Born in August 2001, Kobe loved life. He had an infectious smile, many interests, including football. He was a happy kid. In fall 2014, when he was 13, Kobe started having headaches. A CAT scan revealed a brain tumor. On October 11, 2016, God called Kobe home. Kobe. You live on in our hearts. We will always speak your name.
We just so much appreciate you guys sharing something that's so tough. Tell us what you guys were walking through with Colby.
So Colby was diagnosed at 14 with a rare brain tumor called pineoblastoma. And like Bryant said, he had developed headaches over a course of days. And when we got the call that Colby actually had brain cancer, it's one of the things that you don't think that you ever will hear as a parent. It's something that makes you put into practice as a Christ follower what you actually believe, and not just what you think, what your convictions actually are. Colby fought for 2 years in the Cancer Valley, and when he was 15 years old in 2016, God decided to heal him in heaven, and that was when our family's grief journey began.
Yeah, I just feel like, too, like that was a moment where when Kobe came in the house, the first thing that I did was pulled everybody together and started praying. Not knowing what to expect and how this journey was going to go, but I felt like God had given us something that, you know, you often hear the phrase that God doesn't give you more than you can handle. Well, if he didn't, then we wouldn't need him. And so he gave us something where we couldn't figure it out on our own, so we needed the help of our Savior to give us hope and inspiration and comfort and guidance and clarity to help us battle through this. And so I'm thankful for my faith.
So most people, when something like this happens, they say, where's God when they go through a trial or a tragedy? Did you guys ask yourself that question, and what'd you find out?
The really amazing thing about God is his grace to prepare us when we don't know what's coming around the corner. I never really asked, where's God? Because I saw him show up. I saw him show up actually in the Dungies. We had heard their story at an AIA prayer breakfast 20 years ago. We had friends who went and lost sons before us. So in that, we realized that that when it says in Corinthians that he comforts us so that we can comfort others, we saw God comforting us in walking Colby to heaven. There are parents. There are some parents who don't get to say goodbye to their kids. There's some parents who have to share their kids with the world. We never had to share Colby with anybody else. So we see God in those little things. Even though the grief is intense and we miss him, God has provided a way for us to see him again. We talk about Colby all the time. We talk about Colby as if we're going to see him again. We believe that we're going to see him again in eternity.
So you guys obviously went through a range of emotions, feelings up and down. What is the truth in the end of Colby's story?
You know, the truth in the end is that even in our most difficult times and trials and afflictions that happen in our life, I can never remember a time in victory or the greatest heights of achieving something that I learned the most impactful lesson. The impactful lessons that I've learned in life have come through the hard times. And I felt like this was an opportunity that God was using not only to grow me and understand where my foundation was and growing us, but also just experiencing him in a completely different way that I had no idea that we would experience. And God's people were all around us. We learned that God is, even in the bad times, he is worthy, and he is worthy to get our praise. And so I'm very thankful that God sustained us through the most difficult times in our life.
Well, BY, Christian, I can't tell you how impactful your words have been this morning. Thanks for coming and sharing, opening up your hearts to share with this crew this morning. This is, it's really special. I'm going to get up and sneak back to the podium, but you know how much I love you guys. And you guys can hang out in the seat while I finish up here.
Happy
It's
to.
very special. Christian and Bryant Young. So many of you in the room may not be able to relate to playing in the Super Bowl or being a GM or running a tech firm, but how many of you can relate to living through disappointment or trial or even tragedy? Where do you go when those things happen? And the truth is that God cares deeply about you. And just like he did with Bryant and Kristen, he wants to walk beside you and help you in the trials that you are facing. Challenges and even suffering are part of this broken world that may be unavoidable for some of us. But the God who created us wants to extend his comfort, his help, and his love to us. And he's just waiting for us to ask him, because he wants to be in a relationship with us. I was 15 years old when I asked him. I was living in a way that I thought was right, but I found out I was unfulfilled, unhappy, and not a real sense of purpose. The reason why? Because I wasn't in relationship with God. And in fact, I was separated from him, and I needed him, but I didn't quite know how to find him. And then someone told me about Jesus and how he came to the world to take care of that divide between me and God. He never did anything wrong, and he died on a cross to pay the price for all the things that I did, that we did wrong. Then he rose from the dead. More than 500 people saw him after he rose, and many of them wrote about it in the Bible. He did all this so that you and I could be in relationship with God, to not have to earn his favor by what we do or what we say, but to be completely forgiven and in right standing with him, regardless of what we've done or said. So life in relationship with him today and for all eternity is a free gift. Nothing you and I can do can earn it. All it takes is simply to acknowledge Jesus as your Savior and trust in him to direct your life. You've heard it from so many of the folks here today. Whether you're a Hall of Famer, superstar, a pastor, Seahawk, 49er, Bengal, Tampa Bay Buck, all the folks that here today feel the same way. So you give God all of your mess and your failure and your hurt and unfulfillment, and let him give you a hope, a deeper sense of purpose, passion, and true joy that will last even when things are difficult. If you'd like to do that, you can do it today. You don't need to get things straightened up or cleaned up first. God accepts you just like you are right now, right here. I'm going to say a simple prayer for all of you in this room or watching online who want to know God and to be known by him. If this expresses the desire of your heart, I invite you to repeat this silent prayer after me as you talk to God. There's no formula. All God is looking for is a heart that genuinely wants to know him as a Savior and Lord, and he will respond to that. If you bow your heads. God, thank you that you care about me, that you care about all the stuff in my life, the challenges, the hurts, the failure, the anxiety, the good and the bad, everything. Thank you that you want to take the weight of all that from me to strengthen me and give me peace in every circumstance. Thank you that you want to walk with me through the ups and the downs of my life. And thank you, Lord, that you gave your life for me and died for everything that I've done wrong. Thank you that you love me and want to be in relationship with me and have made a way for that. I acknowledge, Jesus, that you are the way. I receive your love and forgiveness. I invite you to be my Savior and to give me eternal life and to be my Lord, to give me the direction that I need every day. In the name of Jesus, amen.
And I got to interrupt you for a second. I'm sorry, this is not on script, but I just feel a tug on my heart. You know, in Kobe's life, we had an opportunity to walk with him, and as he knew and embraced where the train was going into life, we had an opportunity to walk with Kobe. And as the Bible explains in Revelations, the description of heaven, when he couldn't read anymore, we read to him just the place that he would someday embrace and that Jesus will welcome him into his arms. And so we are so grateful that we had the opportunity to do that. But I understand there are opportunities when things happen in an instant and we don't have that opportunity. So as we leave here today, let's make sure that our soul rests well with Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Love you, man. Love you, Christian. You're spectacular. God bless you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian and Kristen Young, thank you guys for sharing that powerful story. And for all those that prayed that prayer with me, you've made the most significant and impactful decision in your life. God's going to do amazing things.
Wow, what a morning. What a morning. Thank you to Bryant and Kristen for sharing your powerful story, and congratulations again to Christian. What a morning we have had. Now, as we do every year, we would love to get your feedback on today's program. On the screens, you'll see a QR code. So we'd like to get your phones out now, please, and scan the QR code now. There's also a card at your table. You can scan that as well. This will give you access to the comment card. And by filling out this card, you'll be entered to win the autographed Super Bowl 60 football. Now, you have to fill out the card to enter, and if you're selected, you must be here in the room at the end of the program to receive this award. Now, we promise there is no spam here, no obligation. We're not going to blast your email inbox. However, we do have some valuable resources available and people available to respond and serve you no matter what your perspective is on this morning's experience. So again, please take a moment to fill out the form and provide us with your feedback. Now, while you're doing that, I want to thank our staff, our executives, our volunteers, our security. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank you again to Neftali and Sisters Keeper for coordinating the Horizons experience, and for all of you who sponsored the kids that are going to have a wonderful time in just a few moments. And also, thank you again to our title sponsors. Dan Wright, and you're going to introduce your friend here in a minute from Nscale, Tom. Thank you so much, Tom, for being here as well. Please join me and go ahead and take it away, Dan.
All right, thanks, Corwin, and thank you, Athletes in Action, for an amazing breakfast. It's been a great event. Hopefully you all noticed that Christian's actually been in a couple of places. He's been here, and then he's actually been right out there. He has a hologram that he was just interacting with outside. Go check that out. That's courtesy of LiveX, which does really engaging, fun experiences with technology at events just like this one. It's right outside. I also want to say we are very excited to be here with Nscale and co-sponsoring this event with Tom and team. And we are very excited to bring sovereign AI at scale and at the edge all over the world. We're doing that now in many places and continuing to now work on that with Nscale. For those of you who don't know Nscale, you should probably get to know them. They just raised a record-setting $1.1 billion, which is the largest Series B in history in Europe. So I'm going to hand it over to Tom to say a few words to bring us home.
Dan, thank you. Tom Burke here, Chief Revenue Officer at Nscale. We're very proud of our European heritage. We're proud to be headquartered in London, but I can assure you, we have not forgotten what real football is. And with that, we couldn't be more delighted to welcome the NFL to London for 3 weeks every October, and we can't wait to see you again this year in October. Dan, thanks for the introduction. Separate of our Series B, I just want to take a minute to let you all know what Nscale does. And when you think about AI, how it's transformed the world that we live in, how governments operate, how enterprises operate, a lot of the essential services we receive like healthcare, education, defense, all the way down to how we build a football team, how we prepare for football games, how we transform the fan experience within the NFL. Heck, how we get John Lynch a week off, given the schedule he has to keep. And behind that requires massive digital infrastructure, the ability to go build these supercomputers at scale, the ability to go tap into clean energy to be able to go do that, to transform the world we live in. And that's what Nscale does. In partnership with NVIDIA, Nokia, Dell Technologies, and now Armada, the ability to go bring online some of the biggest supercomputers in the world, like what we're doing at Stargate, Norway, where we have access to some of the cheapest power on the planet, be able to go transform the lives of how humans operate within a modern society. Or in West Texas, where we're bringing at an unprecedented speed and scale, in partnership with Microsoft, one of the largest supercomputers here globally, right here in the United States. But at the end of the day, when we think about Nscale and Armada, to put it in football terms, we just put Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey in the same backfield. The ability to go bring these supercomputers to where you need to run that compute, to realize a world like you heard about with Waymo, a future where we can go and decrease fatal accidents by upwards of 90%, where you need to run the compute where the workloads and the data resides. And that's a big part of what we will deliver in partnership with Armada. And with that, I turned to one of our partners on the way here at OpenAI, and I asked ChatGPT, when was the last time a Bart Starr Award winner won the Super Bowl the following year? It's happened one time. 2015, Peyton Manning with the Denver Broncos. And as you think about where we are today, I feel like this might be fate. So this is for Christian. Christian, a Denver Bronco has shown you the way. And on behalf of a overwhelmingly biased crowd, I would like to declare the 2026 season the year of the 49ers. Have a wonderful Super Bowl weekend. We couldn't be more proud to be here and sponsoring on behalf of Nscale and Armada. And with that, Corwin, over to you.
Thank you, thank you. And one more quick thing for everybody afterwards, if you want to see this technology in action, we are doing tours of these modular AI data centers. We have one right down the street. Find somebody in Nscale or Armada gear, and then definitely check out the hologram outside and ask it about the work that Christian McCaffrey is doing in his foundation to help active duty military as well as veterans and others in the community with our friend John Underwood. You can just go right outside, ask all about it. So thanks everybody.
Awesome. Wow, that was awesome. And that hologram is kind of scary, so you definitely want to take something before you stand in front of it. It's awesome. Thank you both for being our title sponsors. Great to have Armada and Nscale in that role. We're so excited, but I also want to thank some of our other sponsors as well. I mean, we couldn't do something like this without the support of the local people, the companies, the individuals who see this as an opportunity to lift up the good in sport. So thank you so much to our presenting sponsors, PG&E, and TBC, Transform the Bay with Christ. Thank you so much as our presenting sponsors. You've actually seen a card on your table from TBC, and they are bringing together over 800 churches across the Bay Area with the mission of uniting to help Bay Area cities flourish. We are very grateful for the impact they are making. You can learn more about them by scanning the QR code on that card, and you'll see a video message from Brent Jones on their behalf. So take a look at that QR code. Thanks as well to our host sponsor, the San Francisco 49ers. They've been so great to work with, and they've graciously come alongside this to honor one of their own, and obviously what a win-win-win scenario for them as our sponsors as well. And to our executive sponsors, Chicago Title, the Kansas City Chiefs, Menlo Church, Next Legacy, Don and Renee Polk, San Francisco Bay University, the Sentinel Foundation, Southwest Airlines, Cohesity, and Promise Keepers. And to our Horizon sponsor, the Urban League of San Francisco Bay, we're so grateful to all of you for helping to make this program possible. Now, hopefully you've had a few moments to complete or work on your response form. Thank you again for taking the time. Please provide us with your feedback. We really value it to help make this program even better in the future. So please give us your honest feedback. On behalf of all of us at Athletes in Action, thank you for being here this morning to celebrate Christian McCaffrey and the legacy of Bart Starr. Thank you and good morning.
Hey, you guys think the breakfast is over? It's almost over. We also have to still give that football away. Who wants a CMC football? You better hang on. Also want to thank, we forgot to mention one sponsor, Prison Fellowship, does a heck of a job. By the way, I want a hologram. So we have a football to give away, but hang on just a second. We're going to hear from a few players and coaches from the Patriots and the Seahawks who are passionate about their faith, like you heard from Christian today, and Bryant and Kristen Young. Take a look at this, and we'll give away the football in just a minute. All right, we've decided that whoever has stayed here gets a CMC autograph football. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Table 88. Where's table 88? Jennifer Moore, are you here? Jennifer, someone's going to be bringing you a Christian McCaffrey football. We appreciate everybody this morning. Hope you had an awesome morning. Thank you so much. Go Niners.
The 2026 Athletes in Action Super Bowl Breakfast has been brought to you by Armada, the hyperscaler for the edge, and by PG&E and TBC. Thank you for watching.